It's the Japan Cup preview of 2021 with Lew Dub. Yes, some of Japan's finest have gathered for their mile-and-a-half test, and 3 visitors have come along for the ride. Thanks for joining us. It's the 2021 Japan Cup preview here on Lew Dub's Personal Best. The somewhat weaker than average field assembled for this year's race, but no doubt international interest is boosted by the presence of those 3 overseas runners from the UK and Ireland. For those unaware, the Japan Cup is a Group 1 horse race for 3-year-olds and up over 2,400 metres or a mile and a half. It was first run back in 1981, and for the first 16 or 17 years the race was dominated by the foreign runners. However, since 2005 we haven't seen a foreign winner. It was 2005 was Alcaced, ridden by the inimitable Frankie Dettori. Here's a list of previous winners of the Japan Cup. It goes back 15 years to Deep Impact's win as a 4-year-old in 2006. His lead-up race was something of an outlier in being the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. By far the dominant lead-up race for winners of the Japan Cup has been the Tenno Show Autumn. It's over the shorter distance of 2,000 metres and it's run about 4 weeks before the Japan Cup. Exactly 4 weeks actually. The other 2 races that have provided winners of the Japan Cup on a regular basis are the Kyoto Daishoten and the Shuka Show. That's a race for 3-year-old fillies. This year we have 4-year-old Entire Contrail as favourite. This is set to be his last race. Now, if things go well and he wins the Japan Cup, he's also a Triple Crown winning colt, so he will be a hot commodity in the breeding barn. He is coming off a second in the Tenno Show Autumn, and reports from the training track since have only been positive. One of his major threats, however, is Authority, who is coming off a comfortable 2-length win in the 2,500 metre Copa Republica Argentina. The last time that race was used as the final lead-up race for a Japan Cup winner was back in 2008. Not the most fashionable of races, but this year we do have a relatively weak Japan Cup. It's an era where Japan's best thoroughbreds are looking overseas for bigger prizes. So this race could have featured horses like Chronogenesis, Love's Only You, but they're targeting Hong Kong. I know Love's Only You is. It was also weakened by the recent retirement of World Premiere, the Tenno Show Spring winner. So it's all up for grabs here.
Can't stop thinking about COVID? Have a bet. Rortsbet's new Pick the Strain gives you the chance to cash in on other people's misery. Didn't pick the winner but picked the correct country of origin? We'll pay you back in bonus bets. Bet now!
Bonus bets valid for 6 minutes after result of original bet. T's and C's apply. Press submit and confirm button 3 times or bets may be considered void pending Rortsbet's profit calculator.
Get your mask on! Rortsbet!
Get locked and loaded with WishBet. WishBet! There's a new sheriff in town.
G'day World Wide Web, Lew Dub with another edition of Personal Best.
Yeah, okay, so let's start going through every one of these runners. We start off with Muito Obrigado, a 7-year-old Entire. He's had plenty of chances at the Group 1 level. His last start, it was in the Tenno Show Autumn, and he was finished well back, 8 or more lengths back actually, and there's certainly nothing to suggest that he's going to suddenly turn things around. Muito Obrigado at 7 years of age. There are better options. Avoid him. Contrail, the favourite for the Japan Cup, is coming from Barrier 2. He's had 10 starts, 7 wins and 3 placings. There's nothing from his last race that says his form is going to dip, and reports from the training track are only positive. So Contrail is favourite for a reason. He's also got one of the best jockeys in Japan at the moment. Don't miss out. Now number 3, Broome. He is the 5-year-old Irish Raider. He is, in my opinion, the best of the foreign chances. here in the Japan Cup this year. His last start, he was second in the Breeders' Cup Turf, proving that he doesn't mind those firmer tracks. 21 starts, 7 wins. He's actually had 4 wins this year alone. He did beat one of his Japan Cup opponents, Japan, in last start. And the one question I have as to whether Broome can actually win is around being beaten by Deep Bond, the Japanese 4-year-old. That happened in the Prix Foy, just prior to Broome's start in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Broome came up against Deep Bond and went down by a length and a half. And if you go back to 2020, Deep Bond had been racing against Contrail at least 2 or 3 times. Over 2,200 metres, Deep Bond was, not even in the shadow of Contrail. So on that, all things even, Broome really shouldn't be able to beat Contrail, but who knows, maybe Broome has made more improvement than Contrail since then. That's what you'll be hoping for if you put your money on Broome. Right, next up is the 3-year-old colt Shahryar. He's coming off actually one of his, I think it's his worst result. He's had 3 wins from 5 starts, but his last run was 4th. That was a heavy track though, so he does have some kind of excuse. The cons or the pros for this guy, he's been tested over the 2,400 metres at this track as well. That was when he won the Japanese Derby, so plenty of people in Japan fancy him as well. So Shahryar, definitely have him in your exotics, but I'm actually willing to risk this guy. He's only a small framed horse, definitely going to be back in the field, but I'm willing to risk him. Okay, next up is Kaseki, another one that's been around for quite some time. He's had he's had numerous shots at Group 1 level, just not won a race since 2017. There you go. He's been solid with 4 starts and every race finishing in the first 5 this year, but no closer than the first 3. So possible that Kaseki will go forward and lead, actually, because the race is void of a natural front runner. There are a few that I think could, and Broome might do the same actually. But Kaseki, a big chance of being our leader. He did do that last year, and he just went a little bit too hard actually. If you saw the video, go and watch a replay. He was about 15 lengths in front at one stage, Kaseki. Again, he's one of those horses that's been around and had plenty of chances at this level and failed to win. Definitely not one that I can see winning, but may surprise us as he'll be doing that, possibly taking up a front-running role. Grand Glory. This is another of the Raiders coming and having a crack at the Japan Cup. Last start was 2nd in the Group 1 2,000 metre Prix de l'Opera. That was on a heavy track, and prior to that she won at Group 1 level over 2,000 metres in another fillies and mares race. She's been like the horses that she's beaten by a narrow margin have been beaten. They've been beaten by 4.5 lengths behind Love's Only You. So I don't think that being beaten by Love's Only You by 4 to 5 lengths constitutes actually competing for first place in the Japan Cup. Hey, maybe she can be one of those ones that you throw into exotics. Got a good jockey on board, Kristen DeMuro. 17 starts, she's got 6 wins and 7 placings and a handy barrier, so shouldn't have too bad a run. Yeah, maybe consider Grand Glory for the exotics. Next up is Authority. This is, in my opinion, the best threat to Contrail of the local horses. Authority, he's a 4-year-old. He's lightly raced, 10 starts, 5 wins and 2 placings. He does tend to race on pace. He's got a barrier that'll assist him to do that. He hasn't won at Group 1 level. He's a 2 times winner of the Group 2 Copa Republica Argentina over 2,500 metres. It's not a race that provides winners of the Japan Cup very often. If you saw the early parts of the show, you'd know that. His two attempts at Group 1 while in open age company have yielded just a 14th and 10th. That was in the Tenno Show Spring and the Arima Kinen. Now, his recent win in the Copa Republica Argentina was on the back of a 6-month break, so pretty impressive, and now he comes back 3 weeks later for the Japan Cup. He's got one of the best. He's Christophe Lemaire, the best jockey in Japan, alongside Yuga Kawada. That's certainly going to help Authority's cause. Include him in your exotics. Even have a throw at the stumps. Maybe he can knock off Contrail. Still need to improve.
Get locked and loaded with WishBet. WishBet. There's a new sheriff in town.
Now for the Japan Cup Track Tour. It's around about 325 metres from the barriers to the first turn. There's a noticeable incline from the 1300 to the 1200. Then they go downhill from the 1100 to the 900. And coming into the straight, with about 400 metres to go, you'll see that they get to another hill, an incline of about 2 metres over the space of 120 odd metres. So quite sharp there down the home straight. Now let's go back to the Japan Cup runners. Next up, Windjammer. This horse is more regular on the dirt. 21 starts, 4 wins and 11 places. Pretty consistent whilst running on the dirt. The first 10 starts of his career were on turf. He had some minor placings but never won, and never ran further than 2,200 metres on turf. So this is definitely going to be something different for him. I do think that he's been put into the race. I expect him to be a front runner and make up the pace along with Kaseki. And yeah, I don't give him much hope of winning. Okay, Aristoteles. He was second in his last start, the Kyoto Daisho 10, behind Makahiki, the 8-year-old. This 4-year-old showed some potential when he was running within ahead of Contrail in the Japanese St. Leger about 12 months ago from right now, but he really should be beating the likes of Makahiki and Kaseki very comfortably if he's to challenge for the Japan Cup. He'll need to improve. Next up is Lord My Way. He was recently 13th in the Copa Republica Argentina that was won by Authority. Before that, he was 5th in the Kyoto Daisho 10. I get the feeling the owners they just want to be able to say that to their friends and family, hey, everyone, we've got a Japan Cup runner. For you punters, don't go there. That's Lord My Way. Shadow Diva. Yeah, this 5-year-old mare is relatively untried over staying trips like this. She won her last start, a Group 2 over 1800, when she was burning home over the last 600 with a 33.1 split. She's had 2 shots at the Group 1 Queen Elizabeth Cup over 2,200 metres, and both times she finished outside the top 7. She does still need to improve, but I think there's plenty that have had more chances and more cracks at the big time than her, and so maybe there is scope for her to get better. She is only 5 years old. Next is Sanrei Pocket, number 12. For me, he's the best of the roughies. He ran a strong 4th in the Tenno Show Autumn, which has proven to be the key lead-up race in the past 15 years. That was his last run. That was his first run at Group 1 level. He's a 6-year-old, so don't expect too much more improvement, but if you get a chance, watch the replay and watch him react to the whip and some vigorous riding. I give him a good outsider's chance. Definitely one for exotic bets. One note of caution, his trainer, and you can get this quote from off the Japan Racing website, his trainer did say that initially their prime target was the Tenno Show Autumn. So only targeting it because of how well he's backed up or run in the Tenno Show Autumn. Okay, now we'll take a short break.
Now it's easier than ever to have band.video on your iPhone. Simply go to band.video with your Safari browser. Then you click the share button at the bottom of the screen. When the menu comes up, you simply click Add to Home Screen. It will then ask you to name the app. I suggest band.video. You will now have band.video app on your home screen, despite the fact that Tim Cook tried to stop it. The globalists think you're lazy, but by taking a little bit of action, you can override them, have the app, and then tell others about it so they can get the app. So it's up to you whether you want to defy big tech and click the share buttons below on your email, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, however you want. Be sure and share band.video.
Yeah, welcome back. Just a bit of a heads up. The notices or links appearing on top right of the screen, they allow you to watch race replays. Just click that link and you'll be taken to another video. Be sure to come back if you opt to watch any of those replays though. Okay, now we're up to number 13, Mozubelo. He's one of the rank outsiders. His only decent result this year was in the Group 1 Osaka High. That was on a heavy track as well. He ran a valiant second in that one, but since he's been 8th, he's been 13th in the Kyoto Daisho 10 and also 13th in Tenno Show Autumn. He's been around for some time now, and for him to be a threat on a firm track, which, by the way, it will be tomorrow or whenever you're watching it, the Japan Cup, the weather is forecast to be fine and a firm track. He would need to grow wings, yes, if he's to be a threat. Next up is the 3-year-old filly, number 14, Uberleben. She's the Japan Oaks winner of 2021, but I'm shying away from her on account of the poor showing in the Shuka Show. She was 13th there, and she finished behind many that she beat in the Oaks back in May. I'm going to give her a miss. She's lightly raced, as you would expect, but I think she's out of her depth just here. That's my opinion on her. She is one of the 6th or 7th in betting. Number 15 is Makahiki, the oldest horse in the field. At 8 years old, he shocked everyone by winning the Group 2 Kyoto Daisho 10. There he just edged Kaseki and Aristoteles. You can check that replay. There's a link to that race on the top right of screen. Prior to that, he was 8th in the 2-mile Group 1 Tenno Show Spring, which is their biggest 2-mile race in Japan. He is lightly raced with just 2 runs in 2020 and 2 runs in 2021. This is his 4th tilt though at the Japan Cup. He ran 4th in 2017, 4th in 2019 and 9th in 2020. It would be a special performance if he's to win. You may be able to consider him for exotics though. Makahiki. Next up is You Can Smile, a 6-year-old Entire having his 3rd tilt at a Japan Cup. His best results have been over longer trips though. He won the 3,400 metre Diamond Stakes in 2019. He also won the Group 2 Hanshin Daisho 10. That was over 3,000 metres back in 2020. His runs at 2,400 and at Group 1 level have not yielded better than 5th place. So that's Group 1 and 2,400 combined. No better than 5th place. You Can Smile. His last start, he was 9th in the Tenno Show Autumn, and there he's finished behind some of today's opponents. He's not going to win. Next up is number 17, Wagnerian, a 6-year-old Entire. And I'll just note that in Japan, of course, the caps correlate with barriers. Wagnerian, a 6-year-old Entire, he's been around at this level for a few years and he's failed to hit the jackpot really. He did run 3rd in the 2019 Japan Cup. This year he's taking an unorthodox preparation coming off a Group 2 mile race, the Fuji Stakes, where he finished 6th. And one thing I'll say, there has been some movement in the market for him over in Japan, so maybe they're cooking up something there. I didn't see anything in that mile race, the Fuji Stakes. You'd probably be able to look that up too if you just type that into YouTube, Fuji Stakes 2021 Wagnerian. Okay, next up, and the last runner, number 18, Japan. He'll be ridden by Yu Takatake. That's a plus for him. He was 4th at Del Mar in his last start, the Group 1 Breeders' Cup Turf. The 5-year-old Entire finished 3 lengths behind Broome in that race, which is one of his opponents today, and there is no weight disparity from that race to this. Once again, they're both going to be carrying the same weight. He won a Group 3 over 1800. This is on the positive. Just back... He's been a bit of a mixed bag. He's actually ran 3 races over there in the US. If you check them up, he ran that 4th recently. He's also had a 6th and a 2nd. Before he left for the USA, he won a Group 3 over 1800 in Ireland back in July. But at Group 1 level in the Coronation Cup, Japan finished 7 1/4 lengths 3rd back in June behind Pile Driver. So hard to see Japan knocking off Broome, and after finishing 3 lengths behind him. So, and Broome, most of us have him ranked behind the favourite Contrail. So, yeah, Japan may be a place getter, maybe something for exotics. Okay, so summarising, I'll go with the favourite Contrail as a first pick. And I like the exotics, so I'll throw in Authority, Broome, and Sanrei Pocket for minor places. Okay, check the odds, pick a winner. Hope you do pick a winner in the Japan Cup. Goodbye for now.